Today we would like to show you how to remove a corner lock style panel from your TecCrete raised access floor. A raised access floor allows the owner to access the space below the floor to make changes to the power, data, air handling, and any other utilities they have chosen to manage below the floor. If the building is still under construction, it is recommended that the following personal protection equipment is worn: hard hat, gloves, steel toe boots, high visibility vest or shirt, and safety glasses. After construction is complete, when removing and replacing panels, it is recommended that safety boots and gloves are worn. Hayworth recommends that individuals use gloves. You will also need a number 2 Phillips head bit with an electric driver to put the corner lock screws in and out of the panel. It is important that you use a power driver with a torque limiting setting. You want to set the torque to no more than 40 pounds to avoid damage to the heads. On my driver, I set it around 7 or 8, but drivers can vary. No need to apply any downward pressure on the driver when reinstalling the screws. Have materials on hand to barricade any spaces where the floor panels have been removed and left unattended. To remove a corner lock style panel, you can use one of 2 different panel lifting methods: using the corner lock screws or using a straight bar panel lifter. Your panel lifter may be silver like this one, or it may be painted a bright safety yellow or orange. Now let's get started. To use the bar lifter, you will loosen the screws halfway. You do not want to remove the screws completely from the panel because they will be used to hook the lifter. We recommend lifting the panel straight up and wedging a steel toe boot under the panel so you do not risk pinching your fingers. It is very important to keep fingers out of the space below the panel until you have a steel toe boot under it to avoid the risk of pinching fingers underneath the panel. You should test the screws before assuming they can be used to lift the panel. Be sure the screws are disengaged from the pedestal head but are holding the weight of the panel when lifted. If the screw is backed out too far, it will slip out of the corner lock. In this case, turn the screw back into the panel a few turns and try to lift the panel again. If either screw is not holding the weight of the panel, you should move to a different corner lock hole and screw location and repeat the process. To use the corner lock screws to lift the panel, you will only loosen the screws halfway and then grab hold of 2 corner lock screws to lift the panel out of the floor. The panel weighs 42 pounds. We recommend lifting the panel straight up and wedging a steel toe boot under the panel to assist with leverage and hand protection. It is important to keep fingers out of the space below the panel until you have the steel toe boot under the panel to avoid risk of pinching fingers under the panel. Once you lift the panel out of the location, it is best to set the panel down so it is oriented for reinstallation in the same direction it came out of the floor. This will ensure that the floor remains as flat and level as it was when it was first installed. Please be sure to mark the opening with a cone or something bright if you'll be leaving the floor open for any period of time so no one falls into the floor. When reinstalling the floor, tip the panel into location, setting the back edge into the pedestal heads first. Set the front edge down onto your steel toe boot, keeping your fingers out of the space below the panel to avoid the potential of pinching a finger. Now grasp each screw, remove your boot from the space, and gently drop the panel into place. You'll want to reinstall each panel in the same location and direction it came out of the floor. This will ensure the floor will remain flat and level as it was prior to removing the panels. Finally, tighten the corner lock screws back into the panel. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact your safety manager. Thank you.